Welcome back, everybody. We've got the weapons update today in Battlefield 1, but with this update, there's some really important information that you should know about if you enjoy playing the Scout class, or if you hate getting sniped by snipers in the Scout class. This is really important and a massive change to the game so far after release. Now, before we get into this, I just want to explain to you guys, when I gave you the video the other day, I told you that we were probably getting a bunch of new weapons, which we did get, but more importantly, it looks like they're giving them out just for free. I mean, not even really unlock requirements except for the Annihilator Trench and the Sickle melee weapon. So those requirements look like the Annihilator looks like you got to get 100 kills and then 25 secondary kills, and then the Sickle, so you got to get 5 kills in a round with another melee weapon. So check those out. Doesn't look like too much of a steep climb, doesn't look like too much of a real challenge. Now, as far as the actual patch notes, as far as what we're actually getting in this update, guys, snipers and people who hate scouts are, I mean, there's a lot going on here. So basically what DICE says here, and you can post a link to this, I'm going to post a link to it down below. They basically say gear up and join the fray, and they're dropping the weapons crate update, which is going to give us 9 weapons, which is what they gave us, and 2 melee weapons to immediately use in our arsenal, except for those 2 unlocks that I just told you about. The new weapons: the Annihilator Trench, the Shrogan Inertial Slug, the Ribeyes Rolls 1918 Optical, the Machine and Pistol Experimental, the M1917 Patrol Carbine, the Type 38 Arisaka Patrol, oh man, I love that gun, the Carcano M91 Patrol Carbine, the Ross MK3 Infantry, the M1917 Infield Silenced, I like that one too, the Welsh Blade melee weapon, and the Sickle melee weapon. That's pretty cool that they've added each one of those weapons to the game. As late as it is in the game, we always love new weapons. Now, most importantly, there's a new sniper rifle sweet spot. They call it quote-unquote communication. Basically, what they explain here is most scout rifles have an optimal distance where they are the most effective in combat, causing 100% damage to their opponents, which is often referred to as the quote-unquote sweet spot. I've explained that to you guys before in some of my sniper tutorial videos, how to get better at sniping and the different sniping and how the scout works in Battlefield 1. I explain that sweet spot range, and in a nutshell, basically, at any difference in any distance with these different rifles, depending on the rifle, there is that zone where you can get one-hit kills on anything moving within that zone. Back to what they're saying here, Battlefield 1 rifles have been operating under these rules since the launch of the game. Yes, of course, each rifle's sweet spot can be reviewed from a graph under customization, but it was never clearly communicated to the player in-game until now. I'm going to disagree with that because it's very clear by the graphs, and I've explained it. I'm sure several other YouTubers have explained it. It's very simple. And they said, we've improved how the game communicates when a scout soldier is in the sweet spot for both the shooter and their opponent. So here it is, guys. This is what's going to happen. For the scout, if you're playing as scout, if you have this sweet spot communication active, which default it's off like normal, but if you have it active, when you pull up your sights, the scope will contain a depth of field in the target area. So basically, anything outside of the sweet spot range is going to appear a little blurry and out of focus. Anything inside the sweet spot range will be in focus. So basically, you pull up your sights, you're looking at a moving enemy, he's all blurry, you can't see him as clear as possible, and then all of a sudden, wow, he's very clear. That means take that shot. He is within the sweet spot range. Holding their breath will expand the focus range and allow the shooter to see everything in their field of view more clearly. Depth of field is applied to the following sniper packages: even marksman, patrol, and sniper. So even marksman, guys, if you've been playing a lot of the dark maps, like right here I took advantage of it. If you're playing some of the dark maps like the Vel Knights, Prize d'Etour, this marksman rifle will now put out a glint. We're going to get into that momentarily. The Gewehr M95 Marksman and Carcano M91 Patrol Carbine will have depth of field applied even though they do not have sweet spots. So what does it mean for you? Well, if you're like me and you've already been sniping, leave that off. Leave that off, because as you've actually grown to accustomed to how these different rifles operate, you actually get to get a feeling for where the sweet spot always is. So whether I'm using the Martini Henry Sniper, I already know the sweet spot is between about 30 and 80 meters or whatever. whatever. I already know that my SMLE marksman, it's about 40 to 75 meters. This is off the top of my head. And I already go out there and I'm sniping, and I already get a feel for it as soon as I'm going to take that shot. I know after sniping and sniping and sniping, I know when a player is or is not within that sweet spot range. Now for the opponent, for that person that's getting sniped, for that person that's looking down the barrel of that scout rifle, opponents inside a sniper sweet spot will see a rainbow lens flare. This I'm not really feeling, guys. Marksman and patrol scopes now have scope glints. They didn't have that previously. Considering that these scopes provide sufficient magnification power for ranged engagements, adding glints, they say, quote unquote, provides scout opponents a better chance to survive the encounter. Which, that's a complaint on my behalf, because it seems like every class has been getting a little buff here or there, but the sniper class is getting neglected. I don't know, do they hate snipers? Let me know what you guys think down below. Do they hate the sniper class? Is it almost like they just added the sniper class just because they need some type of scout class? It's a first-person shooter game. I mean, how many times is the sniper class going to just receive the nerf and nerf and nerf and nerf and nerf? Anyway, they go on to say, the Gewehr 95 Marksman and Carcano M91 Patrol Carbine will use standard glint across all ranges due to their lack of a sweet spot. So iron sights and lens sights will not have scope glints. Their magnifying power, they say, is just so low that it really doesn't matter. And they go and they give us a full graph, which you can check that out actually while you're in game or simfig.com. They give us a full graph basically giving all the ranges of each one of the rifles, all the sweet spot ranges. If you guys want that, let me know down below. I'll save that for a separate video because I don't want to keep this too long. We just want to get into the important details here in this one. So the depth of field changes for scopes are off by default. If you want to turn it on, you basically go to video options and select sniper scope DOF, and you can toggle that on. And then it gives you that scope depth of field. If you're not a good sniper, if you're not used to the sniper sweet spot range, it might, I'm going to say it might, I'll be the devil's advocate here, it might actually help your sniper game improve just a little bit. And then they've also added some performance. They've basically fixed a crash where players are equipping a pistol in one of the war stories, which nobody really cares about, of course. They've improved frame rate. They call it spikes when deploying in Passchendaele. I'm going to say that those are frame rate dips, huge dips, but whatever. Reduce the underground flicker in River Somme and Caporetto. They go on a couple things. They said Operation Devil's Anvil, a maximum rating is now set to 18, which I don't care about. Oil Vampires are a maximum rating of 836. Nobody cares about that. They added a cursor will now hide automatically after being inactive for a small amount of time on the spectator mode. Nobody really cares about that either. They added some UI experiences here. Nobody really cares about that. They fixed an issue where operations occasionally appeared locked to premium pass owners. Now people do care about that because if you can't play it, then you can't play. That's retarded. Now as far as the weapons and vehicles, a couple changes here. They've increased the damage of stationary Aaa guns in the single-player war stories, improving the chance for players to earn the Airborne Cannons Codex entry, which, of course, if you are just playing the single-player game after about almost 2 years, I don't know why they focus on this right here, but whatever. The Tank Hunter attack plane shells would detonate when hitting the pilot of a plane, causing the shell to do extra damage. They fixed that. They've aligned the SMG 0818 muzzle flashes for left and right recoil muzzle flashes. That's cool. But here, importantly, they lengthened the reload time of HE cluster bombs on the Merimets, I'm probably butchering the name there, and distributed them more evenly in the payload. Basically, that's that heavy bomber, that crazy bomber that everybody's been just wrecking the enemy with. So hopefully, we'll see how this works out. Hopefully that kind of nerfs this thing a little bit because people are just, I mean, going bananas with this thing. And so basically and I'm going to post a link to this, to these different updates, to these different changes here. They added 10 new soldier ranks for those of you guys who are at 140, such as myself. Hopefully you held on to those double XP, to those XP boosts, because now we're going up to 150. And they added new service stars for the new weapons. So I'm going to post a link down below, guys. Check out the whole rest of the update. I just try to keep it things that are important to you guys, things that are important to me, and things you really should know in this May update. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'll hit you on the next one. It's your boy Rump Spanker, and until next time, I'm out of here.